Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We have some news for Corepunk. They just released some news on the website where they kind of outline what we should expect in the upcoming weeks or months during early access. At the moment, we should be expecting quest navigation improvements, game pace improvements, loot table balance, and also they have queued up some content for us, which is going to be in this order. First of all, they're working on the full loot PvP island. Then we're going to have some Battlegrounds, a new hero is coming out. And of course, solo and party dungeons. And finally, they're also working at the same time on client and server optimization. So let's go and have a look in all of these different things that are going to be released in a little bit more detail. In quest navigation, they aiming, generally speaking, in quality of life after listening to the player base, where the NPCs will be able to use the world map from now on. This will make questing a lot easier, especially for the new players that are not used to this kind of like, let's say, old school gaming. The NPCs will be able to give you pins on the map the same way players do right now, but they will not give you an exact location, but a relative location. So it will be a little bit easier for you to find the place you're looking for, whether it's a bit further away or not, instead of just saying go west, which is a vast area for you to scan. On top of that, in the quality of life changes regarding quest navigation, we're also going to have highlighted NPCs, where when there's a lot of people around them, it's very hard to find them and click them. So they're going to be a little bit highlighted, so it'll be easier for you to spot and to click on them. Some examples is like when the game started, the first quest, Max, it was overcrowded, you couldn't see him, or in the bank, there's a lot of people around the banker, especially Oswald at the beginning. This will help for us to find them and track them down better. Game pace. This is a topic that has been talked about a lot in the community, and a lot of people complain how the game is slow, it's boring, they want faster combat, and you know, but I am very happy the way it is, and so is the company, and they don't want to disturb this tempo. But by listening to the community, they've decided to reduce the respawn timers and also add more camps, so the game will feel more full with mobs. They'll respond faster, especially in the starting areas, and you will be able to complete your quest a little bit faster, giving you the perspective, the illusion that you're finishing things faster. Also, in this game pace, because we had no regeneration, we had a little bit above 90% your HP and your mana was regenerating. They listened to the community. People were complaining about this because they had to sit down, put a campfire, eat food, wait for their health to go up before they engage the next set of mobs. So they added regeneration from 20%. So if your life is above 20%, you will passively regenerate now. Also, they buffed consumables which have to do with health and mana, so you will get your regeneration going a little bit faster with consumables now, hopefully reducing the downtime and giving you a much faster gameplay without a lot of downtime between your fights. And finally, we already know this, but they mentioned this as well, that we have a shared bank between all your characters in your account, so it will be a lot easier for you to level up alt characters. Having items in your bank, pick them up instead of grinding them, giving for the quest, building some stuff the quest request, and it will be a lot faster for you to level up your alts. I have some alts and I have to confirm that yes, you can level up at least from 1 to 10, like in half the time, if your previous character have things in the banks required for the quests. One of the first things we're going to see as an introduction to the early access as it moves along is going to be a new PvE PvP extraction instance up to 16 players. This instance will have encounters with PvE along with bosses and of course players to deal with. However, the loot here is going to be full loot PvP, which means that if you do die, you're going to lose everything in your inventory, everything you're carrying, artifacts, weapons, everything is going to go. On top of that, the rewards is going to be very good because apparently you can find rare loot and profit handsomely from them. There's going to be rare and unique consumables and upgrades to find and use during the battles, and a unique shop to buff you up in your adventure in this instance. However, there will be no respawns. You will only have one life, and if you do that, as I mentioned, you lose everything. Your inventory on top of that is going to be limited to some slots. We don't know the number yet. So you will have two choices here. One option would be for you to go in your best gear and take a very high risk of a high reward situation, where going in with your best gear probably going to give you an advantage early on in the game, but if you do die, you lose everything. The other option would be to go in with expendable tier 1 and tier 2 gear, grind better gear during the instance, and come on top. And right after this extraction instance, the full loot one, they will introduce a 24-player instant Battleground on top of that with 2 teams of 12 on each side with 3 parties per team. This mod is all about capturing and holding the points. It doesn't mention, however, whether it's going to be a full loot instance, the second one, or it's going to be just a normal one with just loot stuff from your inventory. Since they put them together, I will assume that will be also a full loot PvP instance. Finally, something that I do like. I love PvP, but I'm not a great fan of open world PvP. I prefer instant PvP, more organized PvP if you like. And the first battleground we're going to get is called the King's Battleground. This is a fully redesigned open world location, which I suppose we're going to be able to visit outside of a PvP instance. And we're going to use the same area as the battleground. And this is going to be a capture the point situation where you have 2 teams and you capture the points. The longer you hold them, the more points you get. And the first team that reaches the point cap wins the match. Plain and simple. And yes, we get a new hero soon. This is a question everybody's asking. Where are new classes coming in, new heroes coming in? We don't know the full list, but we do know they're going to bring out a hero. And the next one in line is the Defender. The Defender is a tank with a shield and sword, the same thing as the Warmonger. They both fall in the category of tanks. However, as a tank, the Defender can absorb a lot of damage, the same as the Warmonger, but he also helps reduce the incoming damage to the party. The Warmonger is more of a defensive tank where you just push people away from others. This guy is going to reduce the damage for the whole party and himself. Of course, you can taunt, make sure everything is attacking him. But for more details on this, because this is about the news, not the actual class, you can always visit corepunk.com, and on the website you can find everything you need to know about this upcoming hero class. And finally, we have PvE, solo, and party dungeons that's going to come following the hero release. The next thing we get after the hero is going to be the solo and the party dungeons. I suppose tanks are required. Warmonger or the Defender might be better for this kind of situation. Warmonger more of a PvP tank. I don't know, we'll see. However, they do mention PvE, solo, and party dungeons. So either we're going to get 2 distinct dungeons, or we're going to get the same dungeon in 2 different forms, one solo and one as a party. However, I would like to, on this note, they're giving us this news, this information, if it's possible to have some sort of a date on it, like in a month, in the upcoming 3 months, you know, something like that, because up next, PvE solo dungeon after the hero. I mean, when? Is it a month? Is it a week? I think most of us want to know that. Let's hope they will be able to give us a bit more of a roadmap with dates on it that they can actually keep, because early access didn't have all the things they said it's going to have. Not a problem. I'm just saying it would be nice for us to know so we can like plan our gameplay, what we want to level up, how to level up, because for example, I do feel that the Defender is going to be a better tank for PvE content that I would like to do. So I would have spent my time, let's say, on the Blast Medic to have a healer ready. And now that the Defender is coming out, I would have focused on that instead of the Warmonger. I do love Warmonger, but I'm just saying an example that I would like to focus on other classes. Anyways, these are the news. Final note, always, as always, they're working on improving the servers, you know, reducing lag, making improvements in everything, connectivity, queue reduction, and stuff like that. And that's the news for December 7th, 2024. I really hope they're going to keep up the communication, and I would like to add that they already have added more options for communication and a community manager on Discord and everything. So let's stay positive. I believe that the game is improving as it moves along. Let's stick with it for a little bit longer, and let's all have some fun. And I'll see you on the next update.